and make the money, I don't think you should be able to sue Roc Nation. And again, the fact that you threw Jay-Z name in it, it makes me wonder, is this a frivolous lawsuit? Because we do live in the land of the thief, home of the slave, and everybody knows it's always an attempt at a money grab. We will see what happens as this goes on, but I am worried about that. It's, I don't think he's going to put a gigantic debt in Roc Nation. I don't think he'll hamper the reputation, seeing how we had the likes of people like Bob Arum and Don King still dominating the boxing world, and just watching Errol Spence say Oscar De La Hoya cheats his black fighters, and ain't nobody stop dealing with Oscar De La Hoya. I don't think it's going to hurt Jay-Z and Roc Nation any, but I just don't like the fact that he threw Jay-Z's name in there. And so, Mr. Franco, if this is a frivolous lawsuit, you know what you're doing? That's what you're doing. I got my girl Tree Tree, my little sister Tree Tree in the building. Thank you for the support. And Trey Naturals is in the building. Now, with that being said, I'm going to move on to NCAA. We got some good news in NCAA, and we got some medium news in NCAA. The good news is this. Well, the medium news is this. Tom Herman. I usually get on the geopolitical side of the game late in the show, but I'm going to do it right now. Tom Herman received a 2-year extension on his contract from the University of Texas. The reason I have a raised eye, or as women say, I'm looking at this side eye, is because Tom Herman is primarily using the players that my man Charlie Strong, those who don't know Charlie Strong, he's the former coach of the University of Texas in Louisville and currently the coach of the University of South Florida. Charlie Strong was given that team, and they burnt it to the ground. And once they burnt it to the ground, he was assigned to rebuild it. Midway through the rebuild, 2.5 years through it, Charlie Strong was relieved of his duties. Tom Herman is using a lot of those recruits that Charlie Strong received, and now he's getting a contract extension on the back of Charlie Strong, something I don't like. First and foremost, I don't know if I would have taken a job at the University of Texas because there was a lot of scuttlebutt, and we both know that the state of Texas and people with metal in their skin don't really get along that well. And when you're dealing with that, I got my man Chris Reinhardt in the building. Much love. He's the background listener. He consistently texts me and says, good show. And now he's the front line listener. Thank you, my brother. Thank you. But it's another situation. It's just a situation to whereas, look, man, it's the good old boy network, and this is exactly why I consistently push for people to go to HBCUs because, look, we can't continue to just get mad when people use their friends and use nepotism to get them in the positions they're in if we're not willing to make those sacrifices and go to the Clark Atlantas, maybe not Clark Atlanta, but Hamptons, the Howards, the Pine Bluff, Little Rock, and other Fisk and other HBCUs throughout the country. I got my man Big Kev in the building. Thank you for representing. Much love, Big Kev is in the building. See, the reason I'm even talking about this is it goes right into the next story. It goes to Chicago's own, the original, as my main man Chief Rocker pointed out this week. The dude who actually put the 5-5 together, he committed first, then talked Webber into it. Webber came along, Chris Webber, he went down to Texas and Indiana and got Jimmy King and Ray Jackson. So without this dude, we might not even have a 5-5, and it looks as if he's been assigned to the University of Michigan. See, this is what, it may be a point of arrogance on my part, and I'm going to accept that. But it's awful strange that since people in the podcast world, like the people at Esquire Network, and myself, who've been banging on this drum for the last 200 episodes in regards to college athletics, and I keep saying these big time athletes from the NBA who want to why would you sit on the bench and be a NBA assistant coach and beg the NBA for jobs when you can simply go to one of these HBCUs and create your own legacy, much like Mike Krzyzewski, Chicago's own, Dean Smith, Roy Williams, and so forth and so on. You can go to HBCUs, and it would be, how hard would it be for I used names like Mark Jackson and Patrick Ewing, but how hard is it to walk in a living room today for a 19-year-old person to an 17, 18, 19-year-old person and talk to their parents when you're Anthony Hardaway, when you're Juwan Howard. See, it's easier that way. And you know, it's going to be a whole lot of scuttlebutt that comes along with this. Penny Hardaway is already receiving heat because he's taking people from the vaunted University of Kansas program, and the much respected Blue Devil program. Now Juwan Howard is potentially going to dominate the state of Michigan. He already has a foothold in Chicago. So when you have these big time superstar athletes starting to turn into coaches and not waiting for one of those 30 jobs as in the National Basketball Association, you may have problems. The reason I'm even talking about this outside of big up in my brother, aka Juwan, middle name Nuki Howard, is because I've already heard negative things about this. He may not know how to run an NCAA program and yada yada yada. Again, people, these are what we call dog whistles. Dog whistles. See, and I have a very interactive chat. And the purpose of a podcast is to listen. I love people who interact. But when you just spew out something foolish and put it in the chat room, I must attack you and then I must tell you, sit your ass down. I'm telling y'all this because I'm about to tell Big L to sit his ass down. Big L just said, do 18-year-olds know anything about the Fab Five? I don't think so. See, this is called listening to respond, not to understand and or comprehend. I clearly stated how hard would it be for a person like Anthony Hardaway or Juwan Howard or even the great Jerry Stackhouse at Vanderbilt to walk in the room and talk to a parent while the parent has seen him play. It makes it easier, but Big L found the need to attempt to poke a hole in my logic, and since he did that, Big L, you just... And since you did that, sit your ass down. Sit your ass down. Back to the story. Now, it seems that these guys are finally waking up and they're taking some of these college jobs. The reason I'm saying, I was about to say, what I really don't like is that they are going to these big time programs. I don't have a problem with them taking these big time jobs, but I would prefer that they go to an HBCU because then you create your own legacy. And then, because once you create your own legacy, you don't have to worry about someone attempting to pluck you from that legacy. You blazed your own trail. So when you blaze your own trail and not just try to live up to the Michigan standard, which more than likely you'll never be able to live up to, even though Michigan basketball might be the most overrated basketball program in the history of the world, seeing how Michigan basketball has a great tradition and they've only won one national championship. By the way, the same amount of championships Loyola Chicago, and nobody talks about them. Go figure. But why not just continue to blaze your own trail and make your own way? Big ups to Juwan Howard, though, man, because that's one of the big Power 5 conferences in the United States of America. Even though they only won one championship, they are a storied program, and he is part of their legacy. Big ups to Nuki, a.k.a. Juwan Howard again. But this is something we must keep our eye on because he is going to be up under he's going to be on the hotter lights than my main man, Steady B. Big ups to hip hop legend Steady B. He's serving time in prison for bank robbery and a murder. But hey, still got to get him props. That's his personal life. I'm talking about hip hop. Now, did Michigan just let the Fab Five go back onto the campus, strip them of all their wins? Your point? If they wasn't letting them back on the campus, they wouldn't have been able to hire him. Just for the record, he graduated from the University of Michigan. And there were NCAA violations, and that's why they were stripped of all the Fab Five were stripped of their wins. Next question. Again, bro, I'm going to need you to just listen and stop trying to be the smartest kid in the room. In other words, sit your ass down. Sit your ass down. Thank you. But this is why I'm consistently beating the drum on brothers going to these HBCUs and taking over. If you start to take over at HBCUs, there's no limit to this because guess what? That same Nike contract that Jim Boeheim and Roy Williams and all those guys having the Jordan Brand contracts, those contracts go to HBCUs. Those big time athletes, those big time buildings, those buildings are starting to pop up on HBCU campuses. Those television contracts are starting to pop up at HBCU campuses. And then the academic facilities will be improved, and those academic facilities will be improved, and then potentially the price will go down. And once the price goes down, then you'll be able to ship more people from throughout the country to HBCUs, and then we reign supreme with our talent, creating a a home and loving and caring environment that HBCUs, they already have that, but just imagine you put a couple $100 million behind it, how much more love do you get? Big ups to HBCUs, big ups to Jerry Stackhouse, big ups to Anthony Holloway, big ups to George Lynch, big ups to my main man Kenny Anderson, friend of the show, who's been on the show, and other brothers who are taking these jobs and instead of just waiting around and begging for the scraps in the NBA. Big ups to all of them. And I was about to say, this makes me believe, it might be a bit of arrogance on my part, but it makes me believe that they are definitely listening, because this is no coincidence. This is no coincidence. And I got to give big ups to my main man, number one Chief Rocker Jersey, Vern Master Blaster, and he's a part of X Squad Network. I need you to hit the follow button on him and Mo Cheese, and then you'll be entertained thoroughly throughout the week. Every time you see the word X Squad at the end of saying our name, please hit the follow button. You'll be entertained. Did I say you'll be entertained? Yes, I did. There's no more Chief Rocker Jersey, Vern Master Blaster in the building. Now, according to rumor, I haven't seen anything from one of the biggest protagonists in regards to, antagonists in regards to that Fab Five getting back together, and that's my brother Chris Webber. Him and Jalen Rose still have beef, allegedly, and they haven't mended the fences, but Jalen Rose put it out there, this could be something to mend that fence. Now, if the Fab Five become friends again, support Juwan Howard, that makes it even better. Jalen Rose is on TV every day. Chris Webber's on TV for 6 months a year doing NBA play-by-play. And when you got Ray Jackson and Jimmy King, again, you just imagine if you find these young men walking into the house of a parent, much like myself, much like Chief Rocker, much like Big L or anybody else, and they are recruiting your son as you watch them, as in your 20s, you grew up with these dudes, now your kids being recruited by them. That makes it easier. It puts you in an advantageous situation, and you're going to get a lot of hate from it. So with that being said, I need you to support your local HBCUs, or even if you don't support your local HBCU, cash mob some of these institutions. People like to complain what's not happening, but what you can do is big up them, and you too can be a part of the process. Now, with that being said, I'm going to continue to move up my list. I'm going to go on a couple rants. You know what? I'm on this big HBCU kick. I want to say big ups to the brother, the billionaire, philanthropic superstar, Robert Smith, who paid the bill at all the graduates at the university. Howard. He at Morehouse University at the last commencement speech. Big ups to him. See, as I've been talking about for the last 6 to 8 minutes, this is how you bring it home. I'm not talking about the money. I appreciate the money, and I'm sure those families and those students appreciate the money as well. But right now, HBCUs have the spotlight. Our whole community is looking at HBCUs now, going, man, we are on people's minds. So this is the point when we as a community can move forward and take advantage of the spotlight that are on HBCUs. Then prayers go out to big DJ Knox's uncle. Hey man, one of our members of the X Squad family. I'm not sure exactly what happened, but my main man, number one Chief Rocker Jersey, Vern, said there has been something going on in DJ Knox's family. I definitely want to send the most sincere prayers and positive energy towards my brother DJ Knox. Whatever's going on, I hope you get through it, and I'm hoping it's not the worst, but if it is, we have your back, DJ Knox, one of the dopest dudes in the world, man. Very, very, very good brother, man. Now, but like I was saying, with Robert Smith, it's on our mind now. See, we can't, usually HBCUs on the back burner. Oh, I mean, I gotta go to Kansas. I gotta go to Kentucky. I gotta go here. I gotta go there. I want to go to the local junior college. It's this, it's that. But now, black community, everybody in the country is thinking HBCU now. Remember,